Your Honours, that you will dismiss these grievously misplaced and politically motivated charges. We will ask you to send Rodrigo Duterte back to his family, and we will ask you to give back to the Filipino people their Tatay Digong.
Mga ilang oras lang ang nakakaraan ay natapos na ang unang araw ng confirmation hearing ni President Digong. At pinayagan siya ng pretrial chamber yung kanyang request na hindi na umattend ng kanyang confirmation hearing. At marami pang naganap sa araw na ito at ang tanong ng marami, ano bang assessment natin dito? Nagbago na ba yung aking initial assessment na malabo ang tsansa ng ating presidente na siya ay palayain ng ICC? Ito po muli si Attorney Michael Perario at pag-usapan natin yan ngayong gabi. Pagkatapos po ng deliberasyon on the first day, nakita natin that it's basically a rehash of what happened doon sa hearing on the application for interim release. Yung pong prosecution kept on going back doon sa tingin nila ay strength ng kanilang argumento, kaya bumabalik sila doon sa sinasabing impluensya pa ng mga Duterte. Yung abogado ng mga complainants, si Attorney Joel Butuyan, sinasabi na si Sara Duterte ay Vice President, siya ay ang kanyang mga anak ni Digong ay mga congressman, mga apo, nakaupo sa gobyerno, at meron pa daw sufficient na influenza. Kaya hindi pa talaga siya dapat na makauwi sa Pilipinas. Na-discuss na ito noon sa hearing sa kanyang application for interim release. Why is it being discussed now? Well, it's because, like in boxing, kung saan ka kumukonek na suntok, doon ka uulit. Sa pakiramdam nila, ang argumento nila na ito ay kumonek doon sa hearing on the application for interim release. Kaya uulit-ulitin lamang nila. Ang pre-trial po, ang confirmation hearing, parang dito sa Pilipinas, is equivalent to almost similar, but not exactly the same as yung pre-trial conference dito sa Pilipinas ng mga kaso. Dito po ay nagbibigay sila ng kanilang opening statement, the summary of all the evidence na kanilang ipipresenta. And dito, sa confirmation, ay pwedeng mag-argumento ang depensa na insufficient yung evidence to prosecute si Rodrigo Duterte. Going back doon sa argumento ni Butuyan, I think napakadaling baliktarin itong argumento na ito. Nasabihin may impluwensya pa si Duterte kaya hindi siya dapat palayain. The fact that he is in The Hague means that wala na siyang impluwensya sa Pilipinas, because alam naman ng ICC kung sino nagpadala kay Rodrigo Duterte sa The Hague. It is the Philippine government through the president. So ginastusan nga ng presidente, using the confidential funds. Ito yung ginamit dun sa eroplano. Sila ang nagpadala, inaresto siya ni General Torre. So it clearly shows that President Digong really has no more power or influence in Philippine politics or government. So he is not a threat at all insofar as control of the government until na si BBM pa rin ang nakaupo bilang presidente. Sa aking palagay, this pre-trial chamber and the ICC in general really will not allow Rodrigo Duterte off the hook. Again, paulit-ulit ko sinasabi, but I'm praying that I am wrong. But all of the evidence points to the fact that the ICC is not going Rodrigo Duterte off the hook. Kasi siya na lang ang nililiti sa ICC. Siya lang ang reason for their existence. At kamakailan lamang nga yung I think Venezuela has also pulled out of the ICC. At pahina itong ICC. So they have to show the world na meron pa silang impluensya, at sa pamamagitan ni Rodrigo Duterte, papakita nila sa mundo na kahit hindi namin kayo miyembro, kagaya ng Israel, ng Russia, ng Amerika, pwede namin kayong issuehan ng warrant at pwede kayong arestuhin at dadalhin dun sa kanila. And that this is something that ICC, I think, will enjoy very much, because it will give them credibility, it will give them reason to exist, yung kaso ni Rodrigo Duterte. Kung i-acquit nila si Rodrigo Duterte at pinauwihan sa Pilipinas, wala na silang gagawin. Magbabakasyon na ang ICC because sila nga mismo ini-issue na ng warrant ng Russia for what they did to Vladimir Putin. So now they have to make themselves relevant by these proceedings. Kaya wala talaga akong katiwa-tiwala dito sa ICC that they will do the right thing. But our president, President Digong, he still has to follow what the law provides. He still has to defend himself. Ang problema dito is that on the main trial, hindi na po pwedeng i-excuse ni President Digong yung kanyang sarili. Pwede ba niyang tanggihan na o wag siyang pumunta during the hearing? Well, apparently the rules of the ICC does not allow it, so he may be forced to attend the main hearing of the case kung aabot pa man tayo sa ganoong sitwasyon. But I think yung sulat ni Rodrigo Duterte is already yung sulat niya, the waiving his right to be present at the confirmation hearing, is, others say that's a letter of courage. It's a letter of expressing yung kanyang pagiging Pilipino, and I admire that. Pero feeling ko para siyang yung sulat niya yun, ang liham niya na ito ay parang mi ultimo adios ni Jose Rizal nung bago siya binaril sa Bagong Bayan. I think Rodrigo Duterte, President Digong, has already accepted his fate. That for him, this will be the end of his era. This is the end of the line for him. That he is not looking forward to going back to the Philippines alive. And after Digong wrote this letter, Sara Duterte naman ay nagdeklara ng kanyang pagtakbo bilang Pangulo. Sa tingin ko, ito naman ay pag-accept ni Sara Duterte ng realidad that the baton has been passed to her, that she has to continue the legacy, and this is now the beginning of a new era. This hearing in the ICC is nothing but a sham. Ito isang malaking kalokohan. Sapagkat pag kinasuhan mo isang presidente sa kanyang pag-implementa ng polisiya, paglaban sa krimen sa kanyang bansa, ay pagputol o paggawang inutil sa mga pamahalaan na ito. Tingnan nyo ang nangyayari ngayon sa Mexico. There is now war going on between the government and the drug cartels, sapagkat lumakas yung mga drug cartel doon. Nakapatay yung leader ng drug cartel in Mexico, and they have waged revenge against the government. Mexico is now in disarray. Pati airport nila nilulusob ng mga miyembro ng drug cartel. Brazil has launched their own war against the drug cartels in their place. Bakit hindi nila kasuhan itong mga ito? This is the consequence. This is the implication. Kapag pinoproteksyonan at hinahayaan ng mga drug cartel to run in a country, and President Digong tried to stop it, and he was successful for a time. Now, will he be prosecuted? Should he face trial because of that policy? Now, if you are going to follow this logic na sinusundan nila, dapat mali din ang gobyerno ng Mexico sa paglaban sa mga drug cartel. But look at what is happening right now. Drug cartels, ang droga sa buong mundo, is a clear and present danger in any government, in any democracy, and every president has the right to defend their country against it. If it's right, if it's wrong, they should be prosecuted in their country, not the ICC. Kaya patuloy lang tayong mananalangin ng ating Pangulo ay humaba pa ang buhay at maging ligtas pa siya. Pero ihanda natin ang ating mga sarili, kagaya ng inihanda ni President Digong ang kanyang sarili. Mahalaga, patuloy tayong naririto, nagmamasid, nag-aaral. Kasi alam natin, mahirap makialam ang taong walang alam. God bless you. God bless us all. Mabuhay ang Republika ng Pilipinas.